Explain to me, you've been at that time 38 years, 37 years in foreign service. Why hasn't our relationship with Australia developed? Because it has everything going for it. I must tell you that day I had no answer. I had no answer because I'm trying to stress really how much this relationship has changed in the last decade. I first actually came to Australia when I was Foreign Secretary, right at the end of my career. And so when I reflect on this relationship, and yesterday, in fact, before boarding the flight, I was releasing a book in India called Friends. It was written by someone who highlighted, this is their view, highlighted what they believed were 7 crucial friendships for India. And Australia was one of them. And I told the author that had you written that book 10 years ago, I'm not sure it would have been. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with you folks. I'm saying this because I'm trying to stress really how much this relationship has changed in the last decade. And why has it changed? I think, in a sense, from what you heard from Chancellor Varghese and from the High Commissioner, I would say there are 4 reasons. 1, Prime Minister Modi. 2, Australia. 3, the world. And the 4th, all of you. That is the reason why the relationship has come the long way that it has. Now, you will notice that I mentioned Prime Minister Modi, and I did so for a particular reason. I still remember very, very early on after he had become Prime Minister, one of my early conversations with him, I was then ambassador in the US. He posed a question to me. This was in 2014. He actually asked me, saying, explain to me, you've been at that time 38 years, 37 years in foreign service. Why hasn't our relationship with Australia developed? Because it has everything going for it. There is such a natural fit, there's a language bonding, there's a shared culture, tradition. And yet somehow, something's not happening. And I must tell you that day, I had no answer. I had no answer because perhaps I had not reflected on it myself. And maybe even if I had, I didn't probably realize that at the end of the day, things don't happen automatically. They need effort, they need leadership, they need vision. They need people, governments, leaders at both ends to keep working at a relationship. So when I present to you today a picture of this transformation of the last decade, this didn't happen when the India-Australia vehicle was on autopilot. It happened because people have worked at it. At both ends, there's been a realization of the value of these ties, great efforts at building it, bit by bit, block by block, different aspects of it. You've heard some of it, the business, the defense, the security, the education. But most of all, I think if you look at these crucial relationships that we have today, when we have a, which is what all of you are, I think that gives the relationship such an effective pathway to grow that there's really no substitute for it.